Heyo everybody, Haku here with my read-through for the 5th episode in Magical Girl Raising Project, episodes 5. We're doing Beyond the Triangle this time. Again, I'm assuming most of you have probably been following along with the other read-throughs to get to this 5th one. But I'm going in the order that they're listed on the wiki, because I think that's probably the right order to go in. If it even matters, I think it probably doesn't even matter. But yeah, we're doing Beyond the Triangle. I'm excited because I was just thinking as I was pulling the chapter up, getting the recording stuff set up. I was just thinking as I was doing that, I really love the main story. Of course I love the main story of Magical Girl Raising Project. But the episodes, I loved the first set and I've loved all 4 of these so far. So I don't know. Yeah, I just really, really love episodes. There's just something about it, seeing these characters getting their own side story attention. I really, really like it. I wish more series did things like this. Just every once in a while release out a volume of side story stuff for characters, even characters that are already dead. But yeah, either way, this one is running a little bit late this week, but I'm glad I'm getting it up actually the week after the last one. So hopefully I'll be back on track doing these weekly. I know I took 2 weeks off or something there earlier this month. But yeah, either way, or technically I'm recording this the last day of January, so it might not be up until tomorrow. So earlier last month if this is up in February. But either way, we got Beyond the Triangle, and we have Princess Quake. I love Princess Quake. We have Princess Quake as the picture here. Now, usually if there's more than one character focused, they put more than one picture, I think. But yeah, I have no idea what characters are supposed to be in this one from the title. This story takes place during Magical Girl Raising Project Jokers. Okay. Alright, so we're starting on page 2 here. There's something I want to ask you about. Is that okay? Princess Quake turned her head from the shonen manga she was reading to the source of the voice. She saw Princess Tempest looking with a serious face. I'm always here to lend a hand, Tempest, said Quake. It's advice. I need some advice. Is that okay? Asked Tempest. Somewhere in the world there exists another dimension. In that dimension there existed invaders that threatened humanity. These invaders were called disruptors. They would attack Earth every now and then and cause untold amounts of chaos and destruction. The only thing stopping them, the Guardians of the Earth, the magical girls known as the Pure Elements. Princess Tempest, the youngest of them, in elementary school with the power of wind by her side. Princess Deluge, a middle school girl with the power of water by her side. Princess Inferno, a high school girl, a powerful magical girl with the power of fire by her side, and Princess Quake, the eldest of them, in college with the power of earth by her side. Thanks to Quake's age and experience in the real world, she was unanimously considered their leader by the Pure Elements. They were always ready in the briefing room in case any disruptors chose to show up for that day. However, not all of them had to be there at all times. Man, this is bumming me out because I love the Pure Elements so much, and I wish we got to see so much more of them. I just need more Pure Elements side stories. Either that or some magical girl with revive powers to come along and revive everybody. Okay, Tempest, being in elementary, had left school a bit early. Meanwhile, Quake, being in college, had a variable schedule that didn't really follow any particular timetables. Deluge and Inferno would be the ones that would arrive later in the day. Still, Tempest asking Quake for advice. She seems far too old to be offering any elementary-level advice. Why not ask Deluge, who was comfortable and bright at all times? Why not ask Inferno, who was much closer to Tempest than the other two? Either way, Tempest was in need and Quake wouldn't say no, even if she didn't think she was qualified. But she was happy that Tempest approached her. She's wanted to help children like her for a long time, and nobody would judge her for helping Tempest. Sorry, just laughing at Quake. Not like if she was outside, considered a suspicious woman for taking too much of a liking for children and smiling upon seeing them. Quake tried her best to act like the adult of the group. She sat on the table, put down the manga in front of her, and placed both her hands on her chin. Well then, Tempest, let's begin. What's bothering you? Tempest blushed a bit. It's love advice. Quake's eyes widened. Love advice. Yes, it's about a relationship. His name is Sho. Sounds familiar. Sounds familiar. She's in elementary school and she's already thinking about romance. Oh yeah, because we had this mentioned in limited it's or not limited in Joker's itself. Because she didn't she like the boy, but he liked Inferno. I think that was the story. It's been a bit. She's in elementary school and she's already thinking about romance. She's actually 10 years too early for that. Well, you've certainly got a big problem there, said Quake, unsure of what to say on the matter. Elementary school romance isn't something that lasts long regardless. Serious romantic relationships tend to bloom either as early middle school or perhaps in high school. Elementary romance seems to be one-time crushes. Still, Tempest seems serious about this, which Quake hasn't seen for a long time, so it's best not to take this too lightly for her sake. So, what's the problem, Tempest? Asked Quake. I'm in a love triangle. Oh my god, you're in elementary school and not only are you thinking of romance, but you're in a love triangle? Princess Quake was 20 years old. In all those years, she's never been interested in love affairs at all. You have a special someone, Chico? Anyone you like yet? Or she was just not interested in romance. Still, it makes sense why Tempest would think she was. A college-aged girl with no romantic experience would be strange to a regular elementary school kid like Tempest. She probably thinks that Quake has had several dates in the past. Truth is, even if Quake was interested in romance, she didn't exactly have a lot of friends who got along with her in the first place. So, even if she was interested in romance, she wouldn't know where to start. But elementary school romance is usually temporary, having a crush on a kid you saw at the playground, running around to them saying, "Want to get married when we're older," that kind of thing. They usually erode after a few weeks. Sometimes they just become really close friends, laughing it off as a funny moment in their friendship. But Tempest says she's in a love triangle, and Tempest seems like she actually needs legitimate advice. Her eyes shone brightly, full of hope. If Quake told her she has no experience, Tempest will be disappointed, and Quake couldn't possibly handle that. Quake cleared her throat. Just this once, she'll pretend. Princess Quake is the love master, the one who knows all the secrets of a person's heart. Princess Quake is able to become a matchmaker that can make any couple work, and Quake will definitely help Tempest in her problems. Who am I kidding? I have a shonen manga right in front of me, and I'm supposed to be the paramour of love? Right, well, a love triangle. Yes, that's difficult. Difficult, but not impossible. So, the first thing you should do, the door to the briefing room opened. A red-on-black magical girl entered the room, Princess Inferno. Tempest immediately flew over to Quake and hugged her tightly. "Oh, Quake, you're so great!" Quake gulped. Tempest was so close Quake could feel her body temperature. So suddenly, too. Tempest whispered in Quake's ear, "Talk later. I can't say anything with Inferno around. Oh, thank you so much, Quake. You helped me a lot. See you around." Tempest flew back to her seat as fast as she could. "Huh, you're pretty spunky today," said Inferno. "Can't talk with Inferno around. Wait, love triangle with Inferno. This just gets better and better, doesn't it? Inferno, you're here early." "Ha ha ha," said Tempest. "I ran here as a magical girl, so I got here pretty fast today." "Yeah," said Inferno. The two were talking as if nothing strange had happened. From Inferno's perspective, there probably really isn't anything strange going on. "Quake, you okay? Your face looks funny," said Inferno. "What? No, I'm fine," said Quake. She only just realized she was making a nervous, dumbfounded smile when she realized who the third member of the love triangle was. "You sure?" "Yeah, don't worry about it, Inferno. It's just, my favorite manga got discontinued this week, so I guess I'm having an off day, yeah." The mecha manga. I haven't really read it myself, but it's a shame. I didn't realize it was cancelled. Sorry about that." "Oh, it's fine." "Wonder why it got cancelled?" asked Inferno. "Oh, it could be a number of things, you know?" said Quake. I actually checked the manga. I mean, the story's pretty okay, but honestly, it felt really boring," said Inferno. "Well, it tackles a lot of mature themes for a mecha manga, It's not all action scenes and all that," said Quake. "Well, I'm a high school student. I should be the right target audience. I didn't really get interested in that," said Inferno. "Well, everyone has their own tastes. Maybe you're not into the shonen-type stories." Oh, I read shonen manga a lot, said Inferno. Maybe you're more into the action scenes. The action scenes in that manga weren't the best, actually, said Inferno. Tempest sat down. I actually read a bit of that manga. I don't know what's so interesting about it, said Tempest. Both of them just roasting Quake right now in her taste. Okay, let's switch discussions, said Quake, a little irritated. The door opened once again. 2 magical girls came in. Hey everyone, said a blue magical girl, Princess Deluge. Did we miss anything, said a radiant magical girl, Prism Cherry. Not much. Now that everyone's here, we can all play in the training room, right? Said Tempest to Quake. Hey Tempest, combat training's not playtime, said Quake sternly. But it's fun, and we don't really get hurt too badly, so it's kinda like playtime, right? Argued Tempest. She went behind Cherry and started pushing her. Come on, Cherry can join us, said Tempest. Me, but I'm usually on briefing room duty. It'll be fine. Come on, have some fun, said Tempest. Deluge laughed and ran after the 2. Inferno shook her head and walked in after them too. Wait, Inferno, said Quake. What's up, Quake? I want you to know about someone. A boy that you probably know, I want to know about someone. A boy that you probably know? His name's, Sho? Sho Minmita. That's... They probably just typoed and left out an O or maybe an I or something. Maybe Minomita. Because Minmita just seems like a weird Japanese name. How'd you know about... Oh, did Tempest ask you? Asked Inferno. Inferno's confused face turned into a mischievous sly smile. Well, a couple of months ago, probably last year actually, Tempest got some help from Sho on some things. And since then, that girl's always been following him around. A few years ago, it's always been Akari, but now it's just Sho with her. It's a bit lonely, but she's young and impressionable, said Inferno. Quake nodded, not really knowing how to respond. Inferno laughed. Come on, Tempest is gonna get mad if we're late, said Inferno, smiling. I'm reminded how much I miss every single one of these characters. I almost got emotional just hearing Prism Cherry's name because I love Prism Cherry so much. Inferno was amazing too, one of my favorites. Quake was one of my favorite in Jokers as well, and I even really like Tempest. So, and of course, at least we still have Deluge, even though Deluge is totally not the same person. But I miss all these characters. Before I move on to the next page, I'm going to grab some water really quick. Sorry, just want to keep my my throat from getting too dried out reading here. So we're on page 8 right now. When they arrived at the briefing room, Cherry was already running as fast as possible from a speeding Tempest and Deluge chasing after her. Wow, looks like we're late to the party, said Inferno, powering up as she joined in the fight. Quake breathed a sigh, as she also joined in the combat simulation. After the fight was over, Tempest approached Quake in the corner of the training room. So hey, about earlier, said Tempest. Quake tilted her head. You want to know who Sho likes? I know who Sho likes, said Tempest. Sure. Sho likes Akane. So, yeah. Ah, Akari, huh? Sho's in middle school, and I'm just an elementary kid, but if I become a magical girl, I can be the same age. Then we can actually meet up and be happy, said Tempest. Quake smiled and nodded. Tempest was still so young. The love triangle thing was still on Quake's mind, even as she got home. She tried her best to think of some solution to at least help Tempest out. She's figured the best way would be to find out Sho's likes and dislikes. This meant trying to study Sho. She is taking this way too far and too seriously. This meant trying to study Sho, figuring out what he likes, what he hates, who he hates, his hobbies, his lifestyle. Yes, Quake's seen this all the time in manga. This totally works. First, Quake bought a baseball cap, cut her hair short, then bought a reversible jacket as well. Perfect disguise. This'll be good for tailing. 4 a.m. the next day, and now she's just going to look so suspicious following around a middle schooler with this baseball cap and jacket. 4 a.m. the next day, Quake biked out toward Inferno and Tempest's house. She also brought a briefcase. It's a briefcase where some cameras as well as some manga to keep Quake busy. She's going to try and find out everything she can about Sho for Tempest. She had heard that the school districts of this town were doing some garbage cleanup in the city, so she just had to follow the trail. They started in the park, so Quake waited calmly, reading her manga while she put on her baseball cap and hid close by in the bushes. Soon enough, kids from all over elementary to high school were gathered around the park. Quake saw Tempest and Inferno, human forms of course. Inferno seemed to be the leader of one of the groups, being in high school. Tempest was playing around with some elementary school friends. She also kept looking out at the specific boy in the middle school group. She always seemed to stare at him and look away if he looked closer. That must be Sho. All right, group up, kids, said one of the group leaders. Quake took pictures of Sho. She was safe in how she did it. No flashes, no shutters, just silent pictures with no noise and sound. She was hidden behind the trees. She followed Sho's group wherever he went. He seemed to be talking with some of the boys his age. He also went to Inferno. Is this the love triangle? Quake saw Sho talking with Inferno. The way he talked didn't imply any romantic feelings. Instead, he seemed to respect Inferno, and after a while they separated. So Tempest was wrong. Sho had no romantic feelings for Inferno. Perfect. Snap. Quake noticed a snap in one of the trails near. One of the student groups are going closer to the shrubbery she's hiding in, seeing if there's trash being hidden there. If there's trash there. Oh, Quake. Quake held her breath. She still had her suitcase on the ground, and she was nervous and sweating. She didn't want to be found. She can't just transform to a magical girl either. She actually is trapped here. The student group then left the bushes, and Quake breathed a sigh of relief. Park's not safe. Better go spy through the alleys instead. Quake ran off from the park, following Sho's group quietly as usual and making sure she's looking as inconspicuous as possible. That's when she saw something that made her freeze in her tracks. Inferno was talking with some girls up ahead. The other students are just students, but Inferno had keen senses from being a magical girl. Quake can't possibly sneak past her. She has to abort. Her heart's racing up. She lost track of Sho's group. Oh no. Inferno walked off with the three girls toward Quake's direction. Quake quickly turned around and pulled her cap down, walking as fast as she can with her briefcase. She walked toward the exit of the park, and when she saw a fence, she quickly climbed above it and jumped through it. Please nobody see that. Still, with her cap down, she moved toward another entrance of the park. Maybe this would be a better angle. But then, suddenly, Quake bumped into someone, and the sudden jolt made her drop her suitcase. That someone was just standing there in front of her, not really looking her way. It was due to Quake always looking down with her cap that she bumped into him. That boy was Sho. Oh no. Quake's heart rate increased again. She began sweating even more. This is worse than Inferno spotting her. It's Sho, the boy she's been spying on. Sorry, miss, I didn't see you. It's okay, said Quake. Sho motioned to pick up something from the ground. Oh no, he's going to find I love capital letters here. He's going to find the spying equipment. Quake felt like she was going to faint. This was the end. She was going to get captured by the police, spying on children, picking up trash in a park with a shady outfit. Come to think of it, she didn't really think this through. Her reputation would be ruined. She won't see the pure elements again. It's all over for her. Hey, miss, said Sho. Oh, here it comes. Quake was closing her eyes the whole time. She opened them, and she saw Sho look dumbfounded at something. What is it? A camera? A recording device? Some kind of evidence that gives the wrong impression? I didn't know you liked this manga, said Sho. This is, again, an odd one. I remember mentioning the last episode that it seemed like there wasn't a whole lot of, I don't want to say a whole lot of effort, but it's compared to some of the illustrations that are, really, really amazing, it was just kind of whatever. And that's kind of with this one. We see Sho, and then we just kind of barely see the shoulder and arm of Quake. We don't even get to see full Quake. It's kind of odd, either way. Oh, he found Quake's manga first. Oh yeah, I like that manga. I love this series. I've been looking for a fan of this series for so long. You have no idea how long it's been, said Sho. Oh, well, yeah, I guess it can be hard. I'm sure there's fans of it, though, said Quake. Well, I tried sending postcards and emails, pen pals on forums and stuff, but they all just kind of faded away. Nobody I know likes this series, but I do, and I think it's an awesome and underappreciated series. It's too bad it's going to get cancelled, though, said Sho. Oh, don't worry, the author's going to publish a special edition manga that's going to explain everything. As a gift for the fans, free of charge online, said Quake. What, really? He is? Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, he is. Also, if you want more, you should check out the Raidman anime. There's a Raidman anime? Asked Sho. Oh yeah, it's pretty old though, it was in my age. Raidman was based on that manga series, but there's some things that changed up, and the anime actually went with an anime original ending, which kinda sucks, but it's better than nothing, I guess, since it was new and the manga's still ongoing, said Quake. What's different about it? The love interest is this other new girl instead of the one he had in the manga. Raidman doesn't have the whole death arc where he saves her from the underworld, so I don't know why they removed that. Maybe the subject was too taboo. Oh, and some characters are kind of changed, but you can still see the similarities if you're really interested, said Quake. Huh, I didn't know that. I'll give it a try, said Sho. Sho, we're coming back in a few minutes. You coming? Yelled a girl from his group. Yeah, I'm coming. In a bit. Sho packed everything, the camera, the manga, all of Quake's belongings, without even looking at Quake. Then he grabbed Quake's arms. Excuse me, but do you mind if we share numbers, or maybe email addresses? I don't want to sound too fast, but I just want to talk more about the series. It's rare to find a fan like this. Of course, I'm happy to share. Quake offered up her cell phone, and Sho offered his. They both shared numbers. Sho was still holding Quake's arm. Sorry, said Sho, blushing. Then he waved goodbye and left. Quake never felt more relieved in her life. A couple days later, the Pure Elements were all in the briefing room. Tempest was doing some math homework, with Prism Cherry assisting her. Quake still hasn't contacted Sho, but maybe she will soon. Her mission was successful. Not only did she get Sho's personal contacts, but she became friends with him too. Also, she found out Sho doesn't actually have a crush on Inferno. That's 2 points for Princess Quake. She's gonna tell Tempest soon, but she's gonna tell Tempest soon, and she's going to help her with her endeavors. This is nice. Even though Princess Quake wasn't a love master, she was still going to play the role of Cupid. That's something she'll be happy to do. There was talking. Inferno wanted to see Quake's sketchbook, and in all the laughter, Tempest broke her pencil. She said she'll go over to her house to pick up a new pencil and be back later on. Oh well, I guess Quake will have to tell her later. Tempest left the base. Princess Quake relaxed and closed her eyes. For once, she thought that she had actually had some fun, helped someone out, and made some friends too. Okay, cool, interesting, but I just completely bet that even though he didn't like Inferno, now he would turn down Tempest because he's like, oh, I met this girl that's a fan of the same series as me that I like now. This was fun. Like I said, I love these every time. I'm excited to get back to the main story when we get back to the main story, but for right now, I'm really, really loving these. So yeah, I'll try to get this one up as quickly as possible, and then hopefully we get some more Pure Elements in this set of episodes. But even if we don't, there are a lot of other characters that I'd like to see a lot more of too. But I lost my train of thought. Gonna try to get this up earlier next week, maybe Wednesday-ish, maybe Wednesday-ish, hopefully. That's what I want to try to shoot for each week. I'll be able to get the next one up. So you've got less than a week to wait. But either way, I had fun. I enjoyed this. I really liked seeing the Pure Elements again. So that's just the thing with me. The Pure Elements, I think, at this point might be some of my favorite characters in the entire series, period. So I'm happy to see more of them, and I want even more with them. Like I said, just need some magical girl with a reviving power to come bring everybody back, and then everything will be fine. But yeah, either way, hope you enjoyed the video. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this week's chapter, I guess, and what you thought of my thoughts and my reaction and all that, or what you thought yourself. Subscribe for more Magical Girl Raising Project, much more on the channel. I think I won't be doing the next character video until after Queens, probably, because I've been thinking a lot about all these other series that I want to do character videos on, and I kind of just did one sorta recently when it came to, oh, that was a weird inhale, kind of did one sorta recently when it came to Magical Girl Raising Project, so I think after this is either Peaceful Days or Queens, one of the two, and I think after Queens is when I'll do the next, character video. Hopefully that'll probably all be this year. I know it's beginning of 2020 now, but I think we can get through Queens pretty easily this year, I would hope. and then we'll be kind of very close. After that, we'd be very close to catching up with what's going on right now, and I kind of don't want to catch up, Like, I love reading every single week, and once we catch up, I'm not going to be able to do it every single week anymore. So, going to try to keep a good pace with posting these, but I don't want to rush it too much and then be caught up and not be able to read every week anymore. But yeah, either way, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel or talk to you there. If you'd like a link to my Discord server to talk to me or more of us there, it's free and open for anyone. Everybody's welcome. Just gotta ask and I'll give you a link to it, or somebody else that's there can give you a link too if they see your comment before I do. And if you want to help support the channel on Patreon, huge thank you to people who are patrons already. Massive, massive thank you. But if you do want to help support the channel on Patreon so that I can keep making these videos, that I can afford to have time to do them, then yeah, it's patreon.com/Haku of the tubes, or a link will be in the description. But either way, even if that's not something you want to do or have the ability to do, it's fine. Just thank you for being part of the community, because the Magical Girl Raising Project community, I've said before, is probably the best one that I've just had the pleasure of being a part of by making videos. Like, they have been like the best community, because like some fandoms for things are more toxic than others, but Magical Girl Raising Projects has been like pretty much universally amazing. But yeah, that is it. Thank you again for watching, and I'll finally end this here. I'll see you all next time.